Good morning, curling fans across Canada and around the world. As you join us for the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship, tiebreaker morning, here live from Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm Gary Brooker along with Laurie Seaman this morning as we will focus on ladies tiebreaker from game from Pool B. Two teams made it through the round robin at 4-2, Quebec and Saskatchewan, and vying for a spot in the quarterfinals this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We are on Pacific time. Wherever you are watching in this morning, it's just after 10 o'clock Pacific time. I guess they started early. It's before 10 o'clock, Laurie. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning, viewers. And yes, it is just a few minutes ahead of 10 o'clock here in beautiful Kelowna, BC. These ladies and men and the tiebreakers are raring to go. We've already got our first rock thrown here on sheet number 8 this morning. Saskatchewan has the hammer, so Quebec started out with red rocks and is playing into the house.
Clean. Yep.
Two men's tiebreaker games on the ice this morning. A weird yesterday afternoon, the afternoon draw, that last seventh draw. And watching all the combinations that could happen, looked like we weren't going to have any tiebreakers. And then all of a sudden, just with the right combo of extra ends and what was happening, wins and losses, you had Curling Canada officials going, oh my.
Oh my, scratching their heads, pulling out the handbooks to sort out all the dust that had come out of the last round.
They were hunkered down in that officials' room for a while, trying to figure out who was going to play who needed to play who to figure out what this morning looked like in these tiebreakers.
The club was full of teams and participants and viewers waiting patiently to see what it was going to look like today. And as the dust shook out, we have 3 tiebreakers out here on the ice this morning.
That's right. We have a men's Pool A game. That one can be seen live streamed as well. If you're looking for the men's Pool A game between PEI and Alberta, flip over to the other channel and live stream. You'll be able to see that. And we'll keep you updated also on the BC Yukon Territories game. That's a 3-3 to those teams. We're at 3-3 in Pool B, vying for a spot in this afternoon's quarterfinals. However, we're going to focus on this game right here. You and I, Laurie, viewers across the country and around the world. Pool B, Quebec, Saskatchewan, both at 4-2. There was 4 teams in this pool at 4-2. Just speaks to the competition level, the equality of the teams in this pool, and all of them vying to get into this afternoon's quarterfinal.
Pool B gave us a lot of excitement over the week. So 4 teams at 4-2. What came out of Pool B was Manitoba in first place, Newfoundland in second place, and then the 4 teams that were tied here at 4-2. And by virtue of their record through the week, it shook out that Quebec and Saskatchewan here were in the tiebreaker, and Manitoba and Newfoundland are waiting in the semifinals for them.
So how it works overall, we've been asked this question many times in this competition. You start the week with 14 provincial and territorial teams in the men's division and in the ladies division. These are teams that have curled together. They've won their club championship. They have gone on to a regional playoff. Then they've won either their province or their territory to earn the right to join in this Travelers Curling Club Championship, to become the national winner. Travelers is the sponsor. And then after the round robin, well, they're divided into 2 pools. 2 pools for men, 2 pools for ladies. They play a round robin, so 6 games to determine the top 3 teams in their pool go on to the quarterfinals. The top team in each pool going on to the semifinals, which will be tonight at 7 o'clock local time, Pacific time. And then the second and third place teams in each pool will cross over to play each other in the quarterfinals this afternoon.
That's right. Yeah, lots more curling to come.
Fairly clear, clean first end. Quebec playing the Redstones. Calling for a close guard. One other guard in play at this time, very close to the rings, belonging to Team Saskatchewan. There's Skip Danette Tracy.
Whoa! Whoa! Leanne! Hard, Leanne! Hard, 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 hard! Hard, hard, hard!
Lead Leanne Cretin, sweeping hard. Trying to make it curl a little bit. And there's a miss.
No hesitation. Let's go around and let's get some rocks in play. And the teams here looking pretty confident with the ice, putting the broom down with confidence, knowing that this ice throughout the week has been consistent with a lot of curl and consistent in the time that it takes for the rock to get to end to end.
Teams have been very, very happy with the ice surface this week, and as you mentioned, the consistency, both in amount of curl and the time of the draws. So there was an attempt to come around by Quebec, and Anne-Sophie Gorin just touched that guard, but did end up in the rings, and we'll see an attempt in-turn hit here by Jade Bloor, third for Team Saskatchewan.
And this morning, of course, Jade Bloor would like to send out a big shout to the Mydale Central High and all of her kids.
Just a little roll, just a little. Good job.
Of course, not being professional curlers, they're not getting paid to be here, and many of them having to actually pay as those teachers. Jade was telling me the other night she had to actually pay for a substitute teacher for this week. She was thankful to be able to come at all. Hit and roll out. Team Quebec, third.
And as with many of the teams who are here, the Saskatchewan team has brought many family and friends and members with them, and all of their husbands are here. And Danette has her parents have joined us here in Kelowna, and her daughter Kelly, along with her first granddaughter Novena. So they've all been here cheering her on throughout the week.
So many teams brought family and friends from across the country with them to enjoy Kelowna, but also enjoy this championship, all that it has to offer.
And the pride that comes along with it. The pride that comes along with putting the Saskatchewan name on your jacket and going out there and throwing rocks.
Trying to peel off this center line guard, keep it open down the center. This Team Saskatchewan does have the hammer in this first end, but see a nose hit there from Jade Bloor. We will update you as to the other scores as we go along here today in the other two tiebreakers, the men's games, and we'll also talk about who's already in those quarterfinals. If you're following along, you can follow along live stream on the scores too on curling.ca. The Curlcast updates end by end. You'll also see the standings in each pool and the playoff picture, plus some fun stories from the week.
There have been a number of fun stories from this week. As you can imagine, this competition, and it is a fierce competition, is a type of competition that allows for a lot of camaraderie and a lot of fun and exchange of information. And the teams by this time in the week are really getting to know each other well and enjoying each other's company, and a lot of fun has been created.
Nice come-around draw on the first end for the first skip stone from Quebec skip Natalie Gagnon from the Riverbend Curling Club in Alma, Quebec.
That's a beautiful rock. Nice to have your weight first shot of the game, hey?
Saw the amount of curl there. It came around the guard with lots of room and still snuck out the other side, Laura.
That's an testament to the amount of curl that's here, and the guard is a nice guard. It's not that far out in front of the house yet. It's hard to hide behind. So we're going to the other side of the sheet for the first time this end.
What kind of weight do you anticipate she'll be throwing here as she tries to remove this red Quebec stone?
I going to speculate here that we're not right behind the sheet, but it looks like she can see about a quarter of the rock. So she'll probably throw around backboard weight to see if she can get some movement across and punch that Quebec stone into the open or even out through the back.
Starting to move now.
Go, Leanne! Go, Leanne! Go, go, go!
And you can hear that these teams are mic'd, so we can hear them calling back and forth to each other and encouraging each other to go.
We're going to get to listen in on some of those conversations strategy-wise today. Thanks to the bring these live streams to you all week long, including this afternoon's quarterfinals, tonight's semifinals, and the final tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time.
That was a really nice result here. That was exactly the right weight. Pushed the Quebec stone right through the house and put her shot stone in a position where we have to change things up a little bit, throwing an intern here towards the outside.
Natalie Gagnon's last rock in this first end. Saskatchewan with the hammer. Does get it by the guard, but she's not going to stick around. Hits and rolls out.
It's tempting.
Oh, you hear that little discussion.
Quite a bit of it, though.
Let's listen in.
No, the fault's not far. I just got to hit quite a bit to get it there. All right, let's try it.
Worst case is you nose it on the right side, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
So what are they going to try exactly, Larry?
They're taking a look at whether they can, and they have decided that they can, split that rock with her shooter and split both of them into the house.
Just try to get.
It's the first end. It's a good gamble in the first end. Watched these ladies play in the last game yesterday during the round robin, and very confident players, very confident strategists, and it doesn't surprise me to see them take advantage of this opportunity and be a little bit aggressive.
Rock is way out there. It is a tough split. In turn, Danette Tracy's last rock with the hammer in this first end of play. Tiebreaker morning here at the Travelers Championship in Kelowna.
Sweep it through.
Not curling like they wanted to, saying sweep it through. Well, gonna touch it.
Very good attempt.
And they'll take one. How upset will they be to score that one when they had the hammer in the first end?
It's of course they would have preferred to have two, but having one in the first end is not a problem. It's 7 long more ends to go. Scoring on the even ends is what they're going to try to achieve. So one in the first end is a good confidence booster.
Some of our sponsors up on the screen, and our major sponsor for the week, Travelers 2016 Curling Club Championship from Kelowna. You can see off to the left of our sheet on sheet number 7, one of the men's tiebreaker games, BC and Yukon Territory, still in the first end of play. Just finished it.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I'll give you a score update here in a second.
Way out there.
Over on sheet 5,
Coming down now.
another men's tiebreaker game that is being live streamed as well. Alberta leads PEI after one end 2-0.
I thought I was gonna. I did too.
And we are in the second end of play in our ladies tiebreaker from Pool B. There were 4 teams at 4-2.
Quebec lead Sylvie Cote here with her draw or her hit and the rock in the house that Saskatchewan put just on the button. Sylvie wants to make sure that we send a special shout out to her family members that live in Washington, United States, and they'll be off work today celebrating Black Friday, the holiday, and I'm sure they're watching online, cheering her on.
Had the opportunity the other night to, we talked about earlier in the week, Tuesday night was one of the big social events where teams had the option to sort of investigate the downtown area for local restaurant and watering holes and mix with other teams and some of our local committee and other teams from their provinces as well as we traveled downtown and both just having fun, just enjoying the whole experience. Like you said, fiercely competitive during the day and just off the ice.
Fiercely social off the ice.
You got it.
A lot of fun. That was a very good event, and the atmosphere even after that event was that much more fun and loud at the club as teams got to know each other on a different level.
Great opportunity for these teams to compete in a national championship, moving from the club level curler right to a national championship. It has become, I think, one of the best things in terms of curling in Canada.
It's a fabulous idea, and thanks to Travelers for the vision to come up with this idea and to implement a format that is so successful.
Formerly called the Dominions, and now with the Travelers as a national sponsorship program, it's in Curling Canada taking on as one of their Season of Champions events. It's just great.
That really does give it some really good foundation to make it a long-term commitment here to club curlers across Canada. One of the really interesting rules of the Travelers Cup here is that if a team participates this year, they're not allowed to come back and participate next year, and that gives them the opportunity to go home and promote their enthusiasm about the event, and that just grows the enthusiasm for curling around their club and around the country.
So they can come back in 2 years.
They can come back in 2 years.
Some of these players playing in this week's championship did play 2 years ago. Last year's championship was in Ottawa.
So they just have such a good time. It's such a good event. How inspiring to try to come back the next time.
I've had a number of club curlers here in Kelowna this week say, we could actually play in this?
They're going to be out there practicing after this. Now here in the second end, we've had a couple of misses that have allowed Quebec to be sitting 2 red. And there we see
had a chance to be sitting 3.
Sitting 3. We've talked about this throughout the week too, and it's caught curlers off guard, but coming towards the glass here, towards this end of the arena, the ice is just a little bit quicker, and you really have to pay attention when you're throwing a draw this direction.
Second Charlotte Moore, Team Saskatchewan. Wow, just set them out. Also very weight sensitive. You see if you happen to throw it up a little bit and you're a little outside, they won't curl.
They won't curl.
And yet if your weight is down at all,
or if your release is soft at all.
What do you mean by soft release, Laurie? For curlers that maybe new, or people who are new to the game of curling, when we talk about a soft release, what are we talking about?
Right, that's the point where you're holding the rock and you let go of the rock towards the broom. A soft release would be one where you're turning your hand slowly off of the rock so that the curl is a bit of a lazy curl. Oh, is that a description? I mean,
so not spinning as much as
not spinning as much as maybe an ideal release would give. So as you're delivering the rock, if you watch, let's see if we can see here what.
This is Jade Bloor, third.
Right.
For Team Saskatchewan.
Right. Jade's hand is at where the handle is about at 10 o'clock, and when she releases the rock, the handle is close to 12 o'clock.
I'm just counting the number of rotations. So there's 2 full rotations. Coming up on almost 2.5 rotations on the way down the ice. I was talking with the Saskatchewan men's skip the other night, and he said they play in very straight ice, Scott was saying, and Scott Hill I'm referring to, and Scott Hill said they play in such straight ice it doesn't really matter to them. Sometimes they're throwing like half a turn half a turn all the way down the ice. Well, they throw half a turn on this ice, and you're going to get a lot more curl out of your rock.
And you're going to get really unpredictable curl from your rock. So they very, very, very early on, they would catch on to this swingy ice and understand that they're going to have to take a lot of ice, and they're going to have to pay attention to how they release the rock.
Just looking over to my right, and can see the ice maker here at the Kelowna Curling Club, Tyler, watching the ice this morning, timing, making sure that everything's fine out there. Him and his ice crew have done a great job this week, and making sure the conditions are all they can be for these curlers.
I think all of that applause was for Tyler. There's been, from the participants, throughout the week, they've talked about the condition of the ice being very consistent, very, and really holding up well. We're not seeing any of the issues that sometimes you see in arena ice, especially that wearing down issues where ice will start to fudge, or there'll be start to marks on the ice, or the time will change on the ice and causes grief to the skip and the curlers as they try to figure out how to adjust to that. This ice has been very consistent, same time throughout the game, and very clean throughout the game.
Sorry, guys.
So Quebec sitting 2 in this second end of play. Quebec with the hammer in the second end, trailing 1-0 to Team Saskatchewan in this tiebreaker morning from the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. The other thing going on this morning here at the Curling Club is something that's unique to this championship, is a high-performance clinic that is offered to all the competitors here this week. Their chance to rub shoulders with and get some curling advice from world-class curling champions.
What a terrific idea. I can see them over there and hear them talking, and we've got Sasha Carter there is one of the folks that will be involved with this high-performance clinic, and see she's got a good group of people there that she's chatting with, and I think that maybe I'll just abandon you and go join them. What an opportunity.
I'm looking over my shoulder. You see Jimmy Ursel, 11-time Brier competitor. See a BC rep there, Rob Kofsky and Brent Giles. See Pat Ryan, all taking part in this clinic this morning.
Wow, what a list of names.
Leah Armstrong.
Oh, wow.
On the broom. We go right beside the rock for a roll.
All for the development and the love of the sport. And we're happy to be here volunteering all week for the same reasons. Right? We're all happy to be here for the same reasons.
We are happy to be a part of this.
This has been a terrific week.
A lot of fun to watch it all come together. 100+ volunteers here in Kelowna, making sure this event goes off for these curlers without a hitch. And it virtually has been without a hitch.
What's that saying that your mom says?
My mom says, I think at one time it was actually a sign in my kitchen that said, if you can keep a cool head in times like these, perhaps you just don't understand the situation.
But I think in this situation, you're right. It has gone off without a hitch. I think kudos needs to go out to the organizing committee and to you, Gary Brooker, as the chair of this organizing committee. I know you've been working hard over the last at least year, pulling this together and bringing it together, and we've all enjoyed it. We've all enjoyed the action out here on the ice. We've all enjoyed interacting with the participants out here and being involved in such a terrific event.
Well, I always say it's easier to be the chair of an event like this when you have a great committee and great volunteers, and it really has been an enjoyable task with the committee that we've had.
Charlotte. Hard, Charlotte. Hard, Charlotte.
Skip Danette Tracy from Weyburn Curling Club.
Go, 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 Leanne.
Playing a hit and roll, trying to get it further, closer to the center. And trying to prevent, obviously, team from Quebec getting more than 2 rocks. 2 points in this second end. 1 rock remaining, belonging to Natalie Gagnon and her Quebec championship team from the Riverbend Curling Club in Elma, Quebec, and trying to hit and stick for 2.
Okay, that's what we need to clean up, and then you'll be fine. Yeah.
Natalie herself is a teacher as well at in the nearby town of Lac Alacroix.
That's very unusual.
She teaches grade 1 and 2, and she likes to say a big hello to the students there in grade 1 and 2. And her school is Jean 23.
Well done. Successful hit and stick for Team Quebec.
Her students should be cheering that one on. That was a good end for Quebec. They stuck to their plan. They spread the rocks out across the sheet and across the house, and it worked for them. Big 2 for them in the second end.
So after 2 ends of play in this tiebreaker, Pool B, it's team from Quebec 2, Team Saskatchewan 1. Seeing some of the local sponsors, hosts up on your monitors. It is a Curling Canada sanctioned event. Tim Hortons providing coffee for all the volunteers all week long. Here in Kelowna, the 2 locations that have pulled together for that are the Cooper's location and Sexsmith, Kevin and Barb Becker. So thank you to them for their generous donation for the week. And we start this third end of play. You've got to watch these teams a little bit this week, Lori. Do you think at some point we're going to see some aggressive play, or are we going to see it fairly wide open today?
I would have expected some aggressive play because of the confidence of these teams in the ice and the consistency of the ice. Now, Quebec is quite looking like she's comfortable with her 2-1 lead right now and just wants to take an end of put it in the house and keep things a little bit cleaner. But we have seen, and yesterday was one example of the Saskatchewan team really mixing it up. So they're certainly capable of putting rocks out front and being aggressive.
Go hard, Jade. Hard, Jade.
But in this end,
All you got.
Quebec's skip, Natalie Gagnon, has indicated that by putting their first rock in the house, that she's going to, her goal is to keep it a little bit cleaner.
Did I throw full or too much weight or both? Did she say?
Sylvie Cote, lead for Team Quebec. Asked to throw the in-turn draw. On the women's side of the draw, the 2 teams that have already advanced to tonight's semifinal action would be Team Alberta, who finished in first place in Pool A, and Team Manitoba. Team Manitoba was actually fairly surprised to finish in first place in Pool B yesterday. They lost their last game, just a heartbreaker on the last end, extra end. I think it was an extra end game. Kind of all run together at
They
this
kind
point.
of all run together here.
Looked like she had the opportunity to. Well, she did have the opportunity to win. I was talking to her after the game and just over curled on her on the swingy ice, but still because of the result of Who B2 and the ties that were there, we had 4 teams at 4-2. They were one of them, but because of who they had defeated during the round robin, they were declared the winner of that pool, and so they're off to tonight's semifinal to play the winner of Team Nova Scotia, who sits waiting in the quarterfinal this afternoon, and then the winner of this game.
Right. So a couple more games to go, or this one and another game to go before Manitoba knows who they are curling against. Okay, a bit of a back and forth game here. One rock in, one rock out.
Nice nose hit from Quebec second, Laurie Verreau.
Saskatchewan would look to move this rock into a different location than the house to try to complicate things a little bit for Quebec.
Yep.
Second, Charlotte Moore from Saskatchewan
Whoa,
with her
Jade.
hit here.
Jade.
Charlotte and her skip here, Danette, have curled together for over 20 years.
Wow. I've seen a number of those type combinations this week. Team from Manitoba, the ladies that won this pool, Pool B, their whole team has curled together for over 20 years.
Their whole team. That just sounds incredible. And how much fun for them to come here after 20 years of curling together.
And celebrate with a national championship possibility. It's
And
two
celebrate with 30 some odd
fans.
that have traveled from Manitoba to be here with
And
them.
that's just on the ladies' side. Men's brought a number of fans with them, too. Yeah, I believe the number from Manitoba is well over 50 fans that they brought with them.
And they have been loud and fun-loving and just really enjoying their time here.
Third end of play, Quebec leading Saskatchewan 2-1. We're going to get updates from the other two tiebreakers going on from the men's draw. We have a Pool A game between PEI and Alberta. A steal of 2 for Alberta in the second end means that they are leading PEI 4-0. They're off to a great start.
Hard, 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 hard. Piece of it.
And over right beside us on sheet 7, British Columbia and Yukon Territory. That's a Pool B game. Both of those teams finishing tied at 3-3. Yukon Territory leading British Columbia with a steal of 1 in the second end now, so they lead 2-0 over Team BC.
And our sheet, Saskatchewan missed the first takeout, or hit and rolled out on their first takeout. Saskatchewan second, Charla, and on her second one just ticked the Quebec rock over to the edge. So Quebec has the opportunity here now to be sitting 2 again.
And they do. Danette Tracy skipped for Team Saskatchewan, putting the Bruin down right away. Asking her third Jade Bluer. Play the in-turn hit and roll. Nice release.
Clean. Charla. Leanne. Hard. Hard, Leanne. Alright, good job.
And now Quebec's third. And Sophie Garin attempting an in-turn hit as well.
Looks like she got that one to the inside of the broom. And a little fortunate there to not have jammed on that rock. Cleans the house up.
And we have no rocks in play. Over halfway through. Third end. Here at the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship, live from Kelowna, British Columbia.
Jade Bluer, third for the Saskatchewan team, throwing her first draw here.
Oh, that's a 3. Hard, guys, hard. Hard. Come on, guys, get a piece. Hard, it'll go. Come on, guys.
Here Jeanette
Come on.
calling those sweepers on. Seeing that it might be a little bit light. They're going to pound it as far as they can take it. Get it close to the rings. Look at them drag it. End up just a few feet short of the rings and allow Team Quebec to try to draw one around.
15.5.
So each of these teams has 30 minutes of what's called thinking time for a game. You can see the time clocks there in this shot behind each sheet. In these first 3 ends, there's been no hesitation in putting down the broom and calling their shots. So to this point, it doesn't look like they're having any difficulty at all with their allotted time.
So thinking time indicating that when the other team's rock comes to a stop, their clock would start. Is that right, Lloyd?
That's right. Exactly right. So Natalie's rock here has been delivered. The clocks are not running right now. And as her rock comes to a stop, and once Saskatchewan steps up to start taking over the house, Saskatchewan's clock will start running. And this is called thinking time, and Saskatchewan's clock will continue to run.
I saw you run your stopwatch on that draw. What time? What kind of time did you get hogline to hogline on that draw?
Hogline to hogline. Had a little difficulty seeing the first hogline here, but I was thinking that we hit about 15 and a half seconds between hoglines.
Well, and I did hear Skip Natalie Gagnon say she thought it was 15 and a half. That's very speedy this morning.
That's very speedy this morning. That's very speedy any morning.
But 15 and a half does not get it on the rings, as you can, or just barely biting the front of the house. So you're probably looking more like a 14 and a half second draw.
See if I can get a stopwatch on this one.
You got a hit happening.
Oh, sorry. That won't be very interesting.
Really pounding it. Might have got this one going just a little bit. Are they going to get it by? Wow.
There was a lot of sweeping on that rock.
To the gasps of the crowd. Does sneak it by the guard. Removes the Quebec stone and rolls just onto the rings. So 2 rocks remaining in the third end of play. Really tight and quite wide open. Battle in this tiebreaker. Both teams trying to make it through to this afternoon's quarterfinal, where they would play Team Manitoba. Sorry, they would play Team Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia first, that's right. So they've played, both ends of the house here have been played right across the house, outside, inside, hits and draws. So they'll be really comfortable with what the ice is doing.
Playing the whole sheet.
Playing
This is
the whole
Natalie
sheet.
Gagnon's last rock in the third end of play. Outturn hit.
Hit and roll just peeking out towards the center line. Really nice throw.
Just creep on that one, guys. I won't do that again. That.
Hit and roll is going to cause a little bit of problem here. She tries to blank this. The guard's in play.
The center line here in Kelowna can cause you a little bit of hesitation. You need to release cleanly and wait for it to curl. Curling too soon can stop the curl.
You saw that straight spot that you referred to. And a miss by Saskatchewan skip Danette Tracy will mean a steal of 1 point for Team Quebec from the Riverbend Curling Club in Elma, Quebec, where they are cheering their team on, and it is now 3-1 for Team Quebec over Team Saskatchewan after 3 ends of play. Oh, this is a great graphic for us right now. We can see exactly what happened and how we finished off at the end of the pool draw, where we've, as we mentioned, 14 teams men, 14 teams women, as we started the week in 2 pools, and you can see who is advancing and who is still waiting to play. Men's Pool A, Saskatchewan, Team Saskatchewan, finishing first at 6-0. They're on to tonight's semifinal. Pool B was Team Ontario at 6-0, also advancing to tonight's semifinal. That'll be at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Pacific time. And then on the ladies' side,
And you can take note too that that's Saskatchewan 6-0 and Ontario 6-0. They're the only 2 teams in this competition that went undefeated.
Leanne Cretin, lead for Team Saskatchewan. She's a left-handed thrower, throwing a left-handed outturn. Trying to get some guards in play now, And coming into the rings, right to the tee line. Free guard zone rule in effect, Lori?
Free guard zone rule in effect. That's a 4-rock rule at this competition. And I think in most club curling now, the 4-rock rule is in effect. And that means that the first 4 rocks, if they are between the house and the hog line, cannot be removed from play.
Team Quebec removing the Team Saskatchewan stone and wasting no time. Danette Tracy says, let's get a guard up. Let's get a corner guard up here, team.
Let's play some offense here.
Trailing 3-1. Team Saskatchewan, the 4th end, would like to at least score a deuce here in the 4th end.
Lead Leanne Cretin is back home in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, is a coach for gymnastics and a seamstress.
Not touching a broom to it. All on its own. 15 comes to the house, top of the house again. 15-3-4 is the time we got up here in the booth. And we just heard sort of the confirmation of that from Skip Danette Tracy.
So terrifically keen ice this morning, and keener coming towards the glass. Saskatchewan would have really liked to have that guard stay out front of the house.
Quebec with a hit and stick, now sitting 2. Looks like Danette's willing to say, okay, we'll use that as a guard.
Okay, we'll use that as a guard. In this swingy ice, a guard can be that tight. In this swingy ice, we could see this rock tuck right behind there and be still on the top of the house.
Charlotte Moore's in-turn draw delivery.
Got it, curl. 6. Yep. Yep. It's coming down. Switch. Switch. Only if you have to. Okay, bring it all the way back so it's hit. Yeah.
Watch this finish now.
Go.
If they can bring it way back. Oh, it kind of dug in on him.
Really slowed down there the last 6-7 feet.
That curls 2 or 3 more feet, and that's going to be fully buried.
You can see Danette, Saskatchewan Skip, calling them to switch sweeping. And what they're trying to do there is to, by sweeping on the outside of a curling rock, helping it curl just a little bit more than sweeping on the inside of the rock, which can keep it a little bit straighter.
Yeah.
The inside of the rock, by this rock coming towards us, the rock that's curling towards the left. If you sweep the inside of it, that'll help keep it straighter.
Picks it out of there, rolls away. Team Quebec still sitting 2. And right back at it.
Right back at it. Should really like to see this one tuck in there.
Really close last time.
Nice straight release.
As a skip, you always like to give the same shot back to back to a player. Give him a
As
chance.
And as a player, you'd like to throw the same shot 2 times in a row.
Looks like she's throwing a little bit more weight here. They're not touching it, and it's skating.
Sweepers are standing off.
Not as sharp as we've seen Team Saskatchewan be this throughout the week here this morning. They're struggling a little bit with their draw weight.
They are struggling a little bit with their draw weight and going the other way a little bit with their hits too. This, not the team that we saw yesterday yet. It's just into the 4th end here, so they've got time to pick it up.
Would nerves play a part in a tiebreaker game like this at all, Lori, for some of these teams?
Well, speaking personally, I would be very nervous. But I think what happens when you get out onto the ice and you've been here all week and you've been doing the same routine, settled into the ice and you settled into the surrounding conditions. Once you start throwing the rock, once you sit down and you settle down and you actually throw the rock, the nerves can be less. Start to settle into your routine.
Going to switch it up here a little bit. Team Saskatchewan calling for what will be an out-turn draw for Jade Bloor. Wonder if they're eating popcorn and watching the game this morning at Mydale School.
I would like to think that they're doing that.
That's what they were doing the other day, apparently.
That's terrific. Well, shout out again to Mydale School.
There's a number of teams that have let us know that their office mates or their community or their curling club are gathered around their TV or their live stream games.
Well, this is such a terrific product to be delivering, and this camera work has been fantastic. Showing 2 sheets for every draw throughout the week.
Jade's draws just coming a little bit heavy and ticking off the one in the 4-foot, allowing Team Quebec to remove it and now sit 3.
Oh, she's going to try this again. She's comfortable with this call and this freeze. There's an opportunity for her to switch back and come around that guard, especially with some backing.
But it is wide open, so I'm sure that she is thinking if she has to, she can certainly get to the 4-foot at this rate on her last one.
6, 7, go! Switch!
Which is, as a skip, is what you want. Is you like to keep the when you
This
have
is
the
really
hammer.
digging in.
This is really digging in. When you have the hammer, you like to keep the center open so that you can draw with your last rock if you need to.
Coming
That's
up short.
interesting. Yeah. Did center line catch it a little bit? Her line was good.
Let's listen in on Team Quebec here for all the viewers back in Alma. They'll be able to understand it.
Un 8-5-9. Ah, en avant, là, 9. 9. Même 9-5, ça va être en avant, là. Parce que les autres ont fait du 4-4-12, là. Puis ils restent là, fait que...
On dirait qu'eux autres, on dirait que je sais pas.
Ouais, ben tire bien, tire bien.
On va lui demander si qu'elle veut qu'on lui donnera un pas.
I think they're saying, let's get this around.
Ah, OK.
I think that you are a terrific translator.
4.
And let's not go too deep.
Let's not go too deep.
8-5, là, c'est 7. 8-5, tu t'en vas sur le piton. Fait que, vas-y à 9.
There they're talking about the time. Be the time of the release between the tee line and this hog line. Teams often
Okay, c'est
judging,
beau poids.
at least their initial judge of weight.
Use that as a guide, the sweepers.
Juste la ligne! Juste la ligne! On est... Ça va loin. Allez, je vais.
Needed to sweep it to get it by that Saskatchewan guard, but it certainly had way too much weight to stop in the house.
Way too much weight,
Avec
just
huit,
really
je pensais pas
sliding.
qu'elle irait loin de
This
même.
is terrifically keen ice today. Opportunities here for Jeanette to get into the house, into covered up. Tuck in behind that guard, but still use the Quebec Red Rock as a backing.
Ouais, ouais.
Just looking both behind me and out on the ice at the high performance clinic going on out here.
I believe so.
Just so incredible to watch. We got
I wanna
Jim
get
Ursul out there
to
at
the
79
inside of
years
it.
old, 11-time provincial champion
It's just
who
a
has
draw.
participated in 11 Briars. Three, I think he won it 3 times. And he's out there working with some younger teams and some younger players, helping them on their delivery and giving them some strategy tips. Pat Ryan in behind us here, and the curling club lounge working with some teams on the mental aspect of the game.
Charla.
Just
Go
a
hard,
terrific
hold it.
morning of activities.
Charla! Charla! Yes!
Some confusion on whether they should be sweeping or not. Looks like it's
So you can see that they were calling the sweepers on, most likely to use that red one as a backing so that they could, if it was a little bit heavy as it was, just chip off of the red one and still be behind cover.
probably could have swept it a little more and got the perfect roll in behind.
Exactly.
Again, hard to predict when that rock's going to break. Really weight dependent.
Really weight dependent. Can give skips a bit of a headache trying to decide when to call the sweepers on and off. And that was in a place in the ice that we haven't seen too many rocks come down. A little bit of a gamble out there, but she, by the end result, looks like she did have the right ice.
2 rocks remaining in the fourth end. Team Quebec leading 3-1. We'll try to remove the Saskatchewan rock, just tucked part way around the guard. Throws good hit weight at it, picks it out of there. Also removes one of our own rocks. Team Quebec sitting 2.
I guess we should take the same spot. Is this a draw?
Jeanette felt pretty comfortable, I guess, with what she did her last shot, so she's going to do the same thing. Same path. She has some options. Has chosen to use exactly the same path.
Said she'd like to go down that same path that she threw her last one on. She will have to remember she did get a little bit of a bump on that as well, so that'll come into play in terms of if she's just throwing straight draw here, it will curl a little bit more, will it not?
It will curl a little bit more if she throws dead T-line weight. And that's what you'd want to do as a skip. You'd want to throw dead T-line weight without... Oh, and I'm sorry, what is she saying?
I just heard her say that she's we're not using backing.
Good. Good.
And she'll be trying to get right to the 4-foot here. Last rock of the fourth end. Team Saskatchewan looking to get 1 point and get back within 1 of Team Quebec in this tiebreaker.
8, go!
Yes!
Indicating it might be a little bit heavy.
You're calling them on to use that backing. So they'll need to bump that a little bit so they can get shot. And they're indicating that it is 1 yellow.
So 1 for Saskatchewan here in the fourth end. Quebec leading Saskatchewan 3-2 as we go to the fourth end break. That's what we do here in Kelowna in the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. Take a break after 4 ends of play. Both men's tiebreakers still going. We'll update you on those when we come back right after this.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
And then you did it the second time. I'm like, oh, duh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and then, and I...
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the four of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
And we're back. Welcome back to Kelowna in the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. We are on tie-break morning. We say hello to viewers, live stream viewers across Canada and around the world watching this championship. A championship for club champions.
A championship for club champions, which we all would like to say we are.
The game we're focusing on here this morning is Quebec versus Saskatchewan. It's a Pool B tiebreaker. There were 4 teams at 4 and 2 in Pool B, and only the top 3 teams in each pool will advance to the quarterfinals and semifinals. So this game necessary to determine who will move on to the quarterfinal this afternoon. And after 4 ends at the halfway mark in this one, we have Team Quebec leading Team Saskatchewan by a score of 3-2.
These first 4 ends have been a little bit of a cleaner game than what I would have predicted for these 2 teams.
A little cleaner, and Team Quebec certainly looks like they have figured out their draw weight. They're being able to certainly finish exactly what they've been asking each other for on this game so far, and Team Saskatchewan struggling a bit.
That's right. Quebec being really confident out there, taking advantage of some opportunities and really putting the pressure on Saskatchewan, even though it's been a fairly open game. It's been Quebec that's been curling very well. So it'll be at the 4th end break. I expect they would have come off the ice and taken some time to discuss what their strategy is here for the next 4 ends and how they can generate some points. And Saskatchewan would have tried to find a way to give themselves the pep talk that they need to get back into this game and feel good throwing the rocks into the house that they need to.
This is lead Leanne Cretin being asked to throw up a centerline guard, try to steal some points here, or a point in this 5th end of play. Glancing over to the men's tiebreaker game over on sheet 5, which is the other live stream game this morning. This is a Pool A game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta, and it's pretty much been all Alberta in the first 4 ends of that game, scoring 2 in the first end, 2 in the second end, giving up 1 in the third, and then gaining 1 back in the fourth. So it's 5-1 for Alberta over PEI in that tiebreaker.
And on our sheet, Saskatchewan has successfully put up the center guard that was called for. And Quebec is coming around, looking to bury. Really nice weight, just in the top 4. Didn't get the curl out of it that they hoped, so left it wide open. Saskatchewan a little more of a offensive call now, that they're calling for a tap back. Keep that red rock in play. Any rock that's in play behind the tee line will be be a rock that Saskatchewan can use to generate points.
Also risks of giving it up. They do not have hammer in this fifth end.
They do not have hammer.
The other men's tiebreaker this morning in Pool B, it's Yukon Territory versus British Columbia. Yukon just got one in the fourth end to go up 3-2 on Team British Columbia. Tight battle there. There's a nice little draw with a little nudge.
Let's put the Saskatchewan rock in a really good place, right behind the guard.
Quebec leads, Sylvie Cote.
So she'll be coming around trying to, I believe, corner freeze onto the Saskatchewan rock or tap hers back a little bit. Or settle right in there. That's a good shot too.
So being up one and with the hammer, but playing towards the center like that, would that be pretty aggressive for Quebec to keep playing draws at this point?
We might see here after the fourth rock throw the hit on the guard. I get this the feeling that Quebec is feeling pretty confident, and they're not afraid to have some rocks in the center there to the beginning of this end.
Charlotte Moore being asked by her skip, Danette Tracy, play the out-turn draw around, get another one around there. This is a chance to do it while the guard's in play.
At some point, and this may be the point, Quebec will need to move some rocks out of the way.
And here she goes.
Good shot there of the yellow mustard broom heads that we're seeing on all of the brooms this week.
Out-turn hit for second, Laurie Varot. Has to peel off this centerline guard.
Nicely done. Left a nice corner guard there. And those broom heads are the officially sanctioned broom heads for the event.
Coming out of the moratorium and the decision by the World Curling Federation to restrict broom heads can be used.
That's right. A lot of conversation about that over this past year, over the last curling season. And a lot of collaborative discussion amongst the curlers and the federations and the manufacturers come up with an agreement on the type of fabric that they'd like to see and like to use on the ice.
All the brooms had to be inspected here before they even stepped onto the ice on their practice round on Sunday afternoon.
And a miss there from Saskatchewan. Attempting to move the red rocks back. Gives Quebec the opportunity to clean up one or maybe even two of the Saskatchewan rocks there.
Just trying to get rid of some Saskatchewan ones here. Gets rid of one, moves her own rock around a little bit.
That's a really good result for Quebec. Spreading the rocks out a little bit like that. Pumping one behind her corner guard. She'll be happy with that.
Looking at some options here. Wanting to steal in this fifth end of play as Saskatchewan trails 3-2. Quebec with the hammer. Last rock advantage. Jade Bloor, third for Team Saskatchewan.
Hard, hard, hard. Hurry, guys, hold it. Hard, hard, hard. Hurry, 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 hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Nice little hit and stick to sit 2.
Some discussion here on which result they would like. Skip Natalie Gagnon is looking at the hit and roll behind. That's what they've chosen to do. They can hit and roll behind there. That'll put them in a really good position.
Third, Anne-Sophie Garin. And her hit and roll attempt. And a hit and roll out. Saskatchewan still sits 1 without last rock in the 5th end.
Bit of a break there for Saskatchewan. And Sophie would like to say hello to her little dachshund dog back home, Jasper.
Think Jasper's watching?
I think so. I think what I heard Danette saying was that she didn't want to set up the double, so she'd like to come around, maybe corner freeze on this Quebec rock to the outside. Jasper the Dachshund, that's a good mountain kind of name for a little wiener dog.
Looks like they might have changed their minds here, Lori.
Looks like they
or
may
they're
have.
in the process of. No, I'm taking a look at it.
Do you think she was looking at the alternative, maybe a tap back on her yellow?
She was. I think they've decided on a guard, to place another guard. Really wanted to steal one here and tie up this game.
Okay, here's some aggressive offense.
5th end of play. Guard is not easy to place perfectly on this ice with, as that weight comes off, how much this rock will curl.
She'll need to be thinking about where to put this guard. If she guards her yellow one completely, she leaves a red Quebec run back. Yet if she guards the red run back, she'll be leaving the yellow one exposed on the left.
Did that curl far enough?
It's really difficult to cover both of those shots.
They did pretty well to
block.
Yeah, take away the run back and at least leave. There's a corner showing on the Saskatchewan rock in the house, which they're going to try to remove. Won't be able to throw hit weight on this. Looks like playing some kind of control weight.
The guard was nice weight. It's nice and tight to the house, which makes Quebec's tap back here that much more difficult.
This one's curling. Trying to hold it there, and they touched that guard. So I guess the guard
did the job it needed to do.
it
exactly.
was in a good place.
Yeah, and they're comfortable with doing exactly the same thing again.
They're hesitating, so just really enforce and get it curling. Something out.
Just a slight discussion there between Jade and Danette saying, get those sweepers on it. They're hesitating a little bit.
We have seen that a little bit through the game.
Just not certain they want to listen to the direction of their skip and third.
Throughout the week, we've heard from curlers about the noise in the club and being them needing to get used to what the loudness levels were in this club.
You got 12 sheets of ice going, 24 teams out there at any one time during pool draw, during the round robin, and it does get loud. Only 3 sheets going here today, plus the high performance clinic.
Go hard, Leanne, go!
You have to get this one to curl a long way to get a guard in place. A little more weight too.
Maybe a little bit of a bounce here, not quite enough to cover up that shot stone.
Probably a third covered.
Allows Quebec to do the same call the same shot with a little bit more rock exposed.
Yeah, Danette saying I just needed less ice. It's too much ice. It's also a little heavier than she was anticipating throwing it, I think.
Yeah, ideally she would have liked to have the same weight as the last guard. So this gives Natalie a chance to bump that back, and there's enough of the rock showing, Saskatchewan's rock showing, that Natalie's rock could make contact, push the Saskatchewan rock out of play, and still have her rock stay in play.
Indicating normal hit weight here, which is more than she wanted to throw, I believe, but it is curling.
She really needs to curl. There we go.
Enough to remove it. And Quebec sits 2. Quebec with the hammer. The last rock advantage in the 5th end, and they lead 3-2.
Not really, because then they got and if I'm sitting here, they don't have the bang bang.
Talking about how to best get one tucked in behind here and possibly steal a point, and at least be safe from giving up 3.
And put this rock in a position that doesn't allow Quebec to use the run back from the top 2 guards.
14 seconds, she just says, going up this way, away from the glass, about 14 and a half coming back down towards the glass. We've talked about that this week. A little bit of a discrepancy in the weight here at the Kelowna Curling Club. Ice makers will tell us repeatedly they have had the levels shot out there, and it is totally level, but it has to do with the airflow in this building, has to do with the heat off the glass at the home end. And the last rock for Team Saskatchewan in the 5th end on its way. Gotta bury, she says.
Sweeping to create some curl.
Here it comes.
Both sweepers on. Need a little bit for weight. Looks pretty good.
Want to finish this off, get it buried. Every last stroke. Nice draw.
Terrific weight. 14.3. Exactly what she was hoping to throw.
I'm guessing, though, she can probably see almost a half of that rock. Is there a possibility here, Lori, with the right weight that Team Quebec could get 3?
With the right weight, and she can throw pretty much exactly the rock she just threw. For her to stick around, she may need to throw a little bit less weight than what she did on her first one. It's definitely an opportunity for them to pick and get 2. And with the right weight, stick around and get 3. Danette with Saskatchewan really threw a nice draw. Just needed to finish off another rotation or 2 to tuck in behind there.
Could have been totally buried, but still a fine draw. And here comes the last rock in the 5th end for Team Quebec. Last rock of the end. Trying to remove the Saskatchewan stone and sit for 2 or 3. This one's curling.
We've got room. There we go. It's curling now. Yes, beautiful shot.
And it's 3 red. 3 for Team Quebec in this 5th end. That will put Quebec in the lead 6-2. Some local sponsors up on the board. This is Tiebreaker Morning. The 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship, live from Kelowna, British Columbia. Very grateful for the local sponsors in town. Of course, the national sponsor, Travelers. Acquired this championship from the Dominion in November of 2013. Interesting story behind this Travelers Championship, how it all started. The Dominion Curling Club Championship was really the brainchild of George Cook, a former president and CEO of the Dominion of Canada General Insurance Company. And George himself was a club curler, felt that there were a lot of events for elite curlers, but none for the average club curler. Participating in leagues from September to April, almost every province and territory of the country, and and a way to give back to their home clubs. So from this vision, George created an advisory committee. He was on it, as well as some other Dominion employees, and some curlers were on that group of people, and they collaborated on how to make this event come to life. And it's been an amazing vision.
And it's been a very successful vision. It's been in action now for, what are we at here? 10 years or so, since 2009 when it started. And
Yeah, this would be the 8th championship, I believe.
8th championship here in Kelowna, and set up for Kingston in 2017. So a well-planned event, well-executed event, and really a solid event that has brought a lot of enthusiasm to clubs and to club curlers.
I think with Curling Canada coming on board last season with this, making it a season of champion event, it certainly added some extra legitimacy to the event and profile.
That's right. Structure and experience.
6th end to play, this tiebreaker. Pool B game between Quebec and Saskatchewan on the ladies' side of the draw. Quebec leading 6-2. Saskatchewan struggling so far in this one to find their draw weight, and the combination of really how to make things come together and put some multiple point ends together.
Yes, and they've had a couple of opportunities that have slipped away because of misses. Nice to see that they were able to get up the corner guard here in this 6th end.
Sorry, go ahead, Lori.
I'm just thinking we've got 3 ends left to go, and down 4 points. The 4 rock rule, there's absolutely opportunity to come back. They'll need to really lean on their and be aggressive in their strategy here.
So totally ignoring the Quebec rock, it sits at the top of the button in the 4-foot, placing a second guard. With 4 rocks having been played, it will allow for Team Quebec to start removing some of those guards.
And in the 6th end, this takes Quebec to a bit of a different strategy, keeping things really clean, starting to play the peels, having them change their game up a little bit. You saw Quebec last end continue to play the draw game, which worked out pretty well for them. They have 3 points on the board. In this end, they're going to start peeling, and we'll see if this affects their success at all. That was a very nice peel. Well done. Saskatchewan again putting up a corner guard. Saskatchewan, of course, wanting to get as many rocks in play as possible.
Charlotte's been struggling with her draw weight a little bit in this game, and would like nothing more than to find it about now.
Hard, guys, hard. Jade, you got it, Jade. Good sweet. Good job.
Long corner guard here, but dangerous enough that Quebec is going after it. Asking her second, Laurie Verreau, to peel that one out. That's another successful peel. Saskatchewan Danette would like to see this guard a little bit closer than that last one.
So with the long guards, as you were mentioning yesterday, Laurie, the long guards on this very swinging ice.
They're not much of a protection. Long guards allow for a lot of room for takeout rocks to come around them and For a guard to be successful on this ice, it needs to be close enough to the house that you can't get around it and take out the rock behind it. And this is just a little bit closer, a little bit further into the house than they wanted.
Right onto the rings. And allowing Team Quebec to ask for a hit and stick to sit 2. I wouldn't be that upset if they rolled away, I'm sure. And they do roll away, still sitting 1. And Team Saskatchewan wanting to generate multiple points here, and the 6th end of play, trailing 6-2 in this tiebreaker.
A little bit of a change in strategy here. Saskatchewan thinks it's time and just decided it's time to go around their corner guard.
Be the first rock for 3rd Jade Bloor. Been some confusion in Jade's name here this week, her last name, because she did get married this past summer. So when they had won the championship in the spring, she had a different last name. Got married over the summer, and so some of the materials say her maiden name and some of them are her new married name.
Well, Jade's here with her husband, Terrell. So I'm sure he's happy to hear us calling her by her name now, Bloor.
Terrell was out with us the other night too in the walkabout downtown, trying out some local craft beers. Lots of vibrant activity in the downtown hub of Kelowna. Some craft beer places, and of course known for our orchards and vineyards. And so some incredible wineries here in the valley. The team's taking advantage on their days off to do some touring.
I've heard some great stories about travels that the teams have been going through. And downtown is, and for those of you folks who aren't familiar with Kelowna, downtown is just a 10 to 15 minute walk from the curling rink here, as well as their the hotel, the host hotel.
The Delta Grand.
The Delta Grand. So curlers have the opportunity to walk to and from the curling rink and take advantage of all of those downtown establishments you were talking about. One of the other nice things about downtown Kelowna is that it is full of local businesses. Don't see very many chains or vacancies. So lots of local businesses, lots of interesting places to visit.
Beautiful waterfront to enjoy.
That's right. Can't forget about the lake. But there have been a number of wine tours, a number of driving tours taking place.
Allow these teams to enjoy as much of the city when they're not playing. It's been a busy week for these teams. 6 round-robin games for them. Their pool of 7. Jade trying to pull this one around the corner guard.
Really trying to get some action going here and some rocks in play.
Great weight, just did not finish, and so sits wide open.
I had middle of the 4, but like I'm thinking.
Yeah, that should have been there.
And your guard was looking like we would have been okay if he just had a little more weight.
Exactly.
So give you, I don't know, what the heck.
Jade and Danette, you can hear them talking. What the heck? Having trouble figuring out the ice.
Great weight.
Okay, let's
Yeah, we just need 2. We're back in the game.
Get our 2 here. House is nice and open for you. Lots of space.
Good positive attitude, although they're trailing 6-2. Said, oh, we really need just 2 here. We have the hammer. Let's get 2.
Absolutely. 3 men's after this. To go. Nice swingy ice, which is exactly the kind of ice when you're down that you'd like to have.
Yeah.
Swinging ice allows you to get behind things that straight ice won't.
Natalie Gagnon coming down to try to remove Saskatchewan's rock sitting on the tee line. Wow.
Oh, just past that guard.
Everything's going our way right now. All right.
Quebec really hasn't given them any opportunities, have they?
Danette just saying Quebec, things are really going their way.
That's true. That's true. We'd like to see Saskatchewan pick up their game just a notch, they can make some things happen here.
It's that kind of game. It's such a game of confidence, Lori. And they came out this morning, struggled with their weight a little bit. You could almost sense they just were not feeling confident.
Right from the beginning, and Quebec has been placing the broom confidently, throwing confidently. And obviously the Saskatchewan team has a lot of talent. And we like I say, we watched them in their final game yesterday and really threw a terrific game.
Speaking of confidence, we're going to get the opportunity after this end to speak with Morgan Muse. She's the skip of Team Alberta, who in Pool A finished first and will be playing in tonight's semifinal.
Terrific. That congratulations to Alberta. And congratulations to Morgan Muse.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just hoping.
You can split the guard.
What do you think? I mean, because she's going to just guard this if I put one over there. Why would she take mine out?
Try the split again.
Let's bump it
Maybe we'll
back.
get it this time.
I like that.
Okay, but your tolerance is. I like that.
Yeah, but I do need to bump. I want to get shot.
Okay, let's just throw this.
Make her go for it. Let's just do that. It's just a yeah.
Okay, it sounds really good.
All right, going to change it up here a little bit.
Okay,
Instead of
do I
going
wanna come
behind
at
the
it that
corner
way? 'Cause
guard,
you know
they're
what?
going
I think you know
to.
this side. Me too.
Oh.
That side's giving me grief.
This was for
This side's giving me grief.
and it didn't curl enough.
Right. This is a normal draw to get there. That's what I would give Leanne to get to the center.
So they're going to try to freeze to this or just bump it?
I think the end result of the conversation was a little bit of a bump, make her go after it, make Quebec move some rocks around and go after it, hope for a jam.
Did hear her say if I go around the corner guard, she might just guard her own.
That would be one option that Quebec would have. Quebec being up 4, faced with the 2 rocks in the house, if Saskatchewan did go around, Quebec might just go after the one that's gone around.
It's the right weight, then go, Charla. Charla!
Moi, la pierre en avant. J'avais pas vu ça en avant, la pierre.
Charla! Charla!
Asking Charlotte to sweep to create some more curl.
Roll it! Roll it! Roll it! Go, go, go!
So a little bump off the edge and in behind corner guard, enough that probably not going to go after it with hit weight.
Faut la forcer à faire
Right,
son
with
drop,
Saskatchewan
qu'elle prenne son
sitting
point, c'est tout.
second
Fait qu'il
shot
faut qu'on mette une
and
pierre à
behind the
côté de
tee
sa
line,
jambe.
Quebec can
Fait que moi, j'ai
come down
tiré
there and
tantôt
cut that rock out with
Je me dis,
a draw anywhere in the 8 foot.
ben, j'ai pas envie de défoncer. Là, il faut qu'elle aille en arrière de la maison. Fait que 8 serait bon. Pour Nathalie, ça, là. 8, 8, 5 même. Parce que là, elle va curler gros. Elle va curler gros, fait qu'elle va perdre la vitesse. Là. Ouais, 8, 8, 5. On se colle dessus? C'est bon aussi? Bon, OK. Bon, 8, 5.
So Team Quebec, skip Natalie Gagnon on her last rock in this 6th end, leading 6-2. Will simply try to come into the rings.
Non, 4, 5! 4!
Anywhere in the 8 foot, in particular in front of the tee line.
Indicating a 4-5, which will be about where she wanted to be in terms of distance into the rings.
Vous avez dit au moins 7. Non, j'ai compris au moins 7.
Nice touch. What Saskatchewan would have been hoping was for maybe an opportunity to throw a double here.
One tiebreaker complete on the men's side of the draw. Pool A game between Prince Edward Island and Alberta. Alberta came out great guns this morning and defeated Prince Edward Island 10-2, so they will advance to this afternoon's quarterfinal against Nova Scotia in the men's side of the draw. One other men's tiebreaker this morning on the sheet next to us on sheet 7. Yukon Territory and Team BC. Team BC did get 3 in the 5th end and now lead Team Yukon Territory 5-3. It's in the 6th end of play.
Lots of rocks over there on that sheet. Every end has been a real chess game going on.
Last rock in the 6th end and the feature game for the women's in this tiebreaker.
Quebec forcing Saskatchewan to draw for 1.
Yes. Whoa, Charlotte. Charlotte.
Looks like there's enough weight. They're trying to make it curl so that they can use this Quebec rock for backing.
There it is. Successful last stone for Team Saskatchewan. Getting 1 with the hammer in the 6th end, and now trail Team Quebec by a score of 6-3. 2 ends remaining in this 8-end tiebreaker.
Saskatchewan will need to continue being aggressive, get rocks out front, get rocks in play, and put the pressure on Quebec here.
Try to make a comeback. Laurie, I know you're going to step away for a few minutes, and we're going to welcome to the broadcast booth on this broadcast Morgan Muse, skip of Team Alberta, finished in first place in Pool A on the women's side of the draw, and will play in tonight's semifinal. We're watching a Pool B tiebreaker game here live from Kelowna in this 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. Morgan's in the booth with us. Hey, Morgan, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. How are you?
Very good. Very good.
Congratulations on your first place finish in your pool, and I was surprised to see you guys here this morning.
Yeah, just tried to keep the kind of the same schedule that we've had, come for breakfast, and wanted to check out some of the tiebreakers this morning and cheer for the Alberta men's team that was playing. So.
And they did well.
They did.
10-2 win for Team Alberta, the men's tiebreaker this morning over Team Prince Edward Island. So I thought it'd be interesting to have you in the booth this morning. This is not your first time at the Travelers, is it?
It's not. My exact same team competed in the 2014 national event in Halifax, which is my hometown. So we got to experience all the nerves and the stress for the first time then, and so learnings from things we could improve on this week, and it's nice to see that we've acted on those and improved.
It's awesome. So your second time at the Travelers Championship, Curling Club Championship, with the same team.
Mm-hmm.
What we were talking about earlier today is you can't come back in consecutive years.
That's right.
But you can take a year off and then come back again.
For sure, yeah. It ended up being really good timing for us, although so our provincial just happened in October in Alberta, and we had our Southern Alberta qualifiers back in March. So we looked to peak near the end of last curling season. As most teams, their season is done. We're looking to peak through our Southern and then kind of somehow maintain that through the summer and get back on the ice with only a few short weeks before heading to provincials. So.
And that has been a difference in some of the teams that have been here, where their provincial championship or their territorial championship was in the spring.
Yeah.
And they were already declared the winner and knew they were coming here to Kelowna. And as you said, only about 4 weeks ago?
4 weeks, yeah.
4 weeks. So some benefits of that. But yeah, how do you keep? Did you play it all over the summer anywhere?
No, I guess for myself, I started going to the gym 3 or 4 mornings a week in August to be able to throw some rocks at the beginning of the season without feeling like I wanted to fall over. Okay. So it was a bit of a different training schedule for me from last season, as we weren't eligible to play in provincials last year. So yeah, that's just kind of what I did, even though I'm skipping, I don't need to be conditioned for sweeping, but the other girls definitely got out, and just in practices they would just be sweeping and working on getting that up, because this is a lot of games for a club team to play in 1 week.
That's right. That is probably one of the biggest differences for for a club curlers to come to a championship like this, play a round robin. You played 6 games in your round robin, and then you've got the playoffs.
For sure. And we probably only had 5 league games prior to this event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now your team plays out of the Calgary Curling Club.
Yep. Yeah.
Be some people watching that semifinal tonight?
Yeah, I hope so. We've got lots of supporters from our rink. We play in an open league on the Wednesday nights. So and we have 8 sheets there. And we've played in that league for 5, 6, probably 7 years now.
So we talk about an open league in a curling club. What does that mean exactly?
Any mix. So it could be a full men's team, full women's team. It could be a combination in any arrangement of positions.
All right. So you're playing against a combination of different teams.
Yeah, it used to be entirely a women's league. Probably 3 years ago, they struggled to fill the league, unfortunately. But it was good that they were able to open it up and fill the league with other open formatted teams.
Notice a lot of curling clubs across Canada are using that open format to try to generate interest and certainly accessibility to the game. We have that here at Kelowna Curling Club too, some open leagues in terms of even in Bonspiel last week and an open Bonspiel too. So. We are watching the 6th end of play in this tiebreaker, Pool B tiebreaker between Quebec and Saskatchewan. Team Quebec leading 6-3, 1 guard in play. Team Saskatchewan really would like to steal a point or 2 here. How's the ice been for you and your team this week, Morgan, here in Kelowna? We've been talked about quite a bit of swing, but how have you found it to be?
We found the speed to be very consistent, and each sheet does seem to have its own little bit of character to it. But other than that, just expect that it's going to curl big. We tend to get a little shocked if we do find a straight spot, but I mean, so far it's been working for us. We all throw fairly positive rotation on our stones, so we haven't gotten stuck too much with the bigger swing. But the big thing is we've really enjoyed the speed. It's been really consistent.
How about the social aspect of this championship? We've heard from other players and teams during the week, as much as they love to compete on the ice, they love to get to know other curlers from around the country and to be able to take part in the social aspect of the game as well.
Yeah, that's been the most fun part for sure. We got to know a few of the teams that are the same, this Quebec team, and I think Jade Bloor from the Saskatchewan team. They're returning from the 2014 national event, so it's really nice to see some friendly faces. And our first game was against Team Ontario, who is new to this event, and we started out, wanted to take a team selfie with them before our game started, and they commented on that after the game. They're feeling a bit like, oh gosh, this is our first game at Travelers, but here you guys are and wanted to take a selfie with us. So it's been really fun. We've sat down with every team after the game to grab a beverage with them, and that's something that is just very common with the Eastern teams and what you do after a league game. Sure. But it's nice to get a chance to know everyone, learn more about where they're from, what club they curl out of, how many curlers, that sort of thing.
So fiercely competitive on the ice, but certainly friendly off.
For sure, yeah.
How have you enjoyed Kelowna this week, you and your team?
Beautiful. Yeah, it's been so great. It's so nice to be in a warmer place where it's almost winter. But nice to walk around with a hoodie or
it's been about 8
jacket.
degrees Celsius this week in Kelowna, on and off, and a little bit of rain here and there, but generally you can walk back and forth from the host hotel.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so close. This is a great setup for sure. But the mountains and the hills all around here are really beautiful. I mean, we're in Calgary where you can see our mountains, but you're not necessarily surrounded by them all the time, so it's still quite breathtaking when the sun's out.
So while we still have you here looking towards tonight's semifinal for you, you do not have to play in the quarterfinal this afternoon, finishing in first place in your pool. You get that bump right through to the semifinal tonight, 7 o'clock Pacific time, and we will be live streaming games tonight as well as the final tomorrow morning at 10. So the two possibilities that you will play tonight is either Team Ontario or Team Newfoundland Labrador.
That's right.
Do you know anything about those two teams?
So we did play Ontario our first game. And we have never played the Newfoundland team. We weren't in their pool the last time that we were at the national event, but our whole thing is to not really focus too much on who we're playing against and just to stick to our own game plan and just follow our same routine. And it's been working for us so far, and we just want to not get too, it's just another game, one shot at a time is how we're going to look at this.
Well, it's been working for you so far this week, that's for sure. You're finishing at top of your pool. You guys have been playing well and with some confidence on this Kelowna ice, and we want to wish you all the best of luck tonight, semifinal. There'd be nothing you would like more than to see yourself playing on Saturday.
You bet. Yeah, our goal was definitely to improve from Halifax. In Halifax, we finished with a 3-3 record, and so first goal for us was definitely to make playoffs, and next goal is to time. So
it's really all you need. 2 games.
Absolutely.
2 wins will put you as the national champion in this 2016 edition of the Travelers Curling Club Championship. There's a nose hit on the guard and the 7th end of play. And Saskatchewan will be saying, yes, we need that guard in play.
For sure.
Well, thank you again for joining us, Morgan. Morgan Muse, skip of Team Alberta, finishing first in their pool, and we'll see you tonight in the semifinal action, no matter who you play.
Thank you so much for having me, and I want to say thank you to all of the volunteers and the host committee for putting on a great event this week. You guys have made us feel like we're at a Scotties for sure, made us feel very important, and I think it's great for any athlete to experience. So I encourage more people to follow their traveler's dream.
It's the opportunity for club curlers to join together with their team and make it to a national championship, that's for sure. Thank you again, Morgan. We will see you in tonight's semifinal action.
Thank you.
Two rocks remaining, the 7th end. Danette Tracy, skip for Team Saskatchewan, wanting to get this draw around this center line guard and possibly steal a point. Trailing 6-3. Starting to curl, you heard her say. I want to get it buried though. We're not going to want to leave it available for a Quebec team to take it out. Sliding to the back of the forefoot. Just biting. Beautiful draw. Right where she would want it. Maybe a couple feet deeper, but certainly did not want to leave it exposed. Joining me in the booth now is event co-chair Steve Van Dam from our host committee. Steve, good morning.
Morning, Gary. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Well, morning here in BC, but for most of the rest of the country, they are well into their afternoon, partially through their afternoon. It is 20 to 12 Pacific time, and the time of the quarterfinal this afternoon will be played at 2 o'clock, and we will be live streaming a men's game and a ladies game this afternoon.
Excellent. From what I've seen, it looks like Quebec has been having a heck of a game.
They've been playing very well this morning, really confident. Skip Natalie Gagnon just electing to come down on this last rock and try to draw full forefoot, which will give her total control. She'll be up 4 coming home if she makes this. They've had their draw weight. They've been making nice come-around hits. Well, it looks like they're going to have to go hard on this one, Steve.
Might be a little short, yeah. Well, I have to admit, I didn't get to watch much of the game. I was spent a lot of time at the high performance clinic this morning, which was very good. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to be part of a high performance clinic, but it was fantastic.
We were talking about it earlier this morning, the quite an array of elite curlers that they had amassed here to work with players and teams. And so who did you get to work with this morning?
Well, I started off with Pat Ryan. Pat was giving a lot of strategy talk, and then I moved down to the ice for a little while because I really personally want to work on my delivery. And you know, it's interesting that at my age and how long I've been curling, that I could still learn quite a bit. And I was working with Justin from our home club. And who else did I have down there?
I think you had Brent Giles. I looked over for a while.
Yes. So I was more focused on the group I was with. I got to curl with some of the ladies from the Nunavut team and one of the gentlemen from Quebec. So there was just the 2 men down there. All the rest were the ladies from that weren't in the middle of.
Bad break for you?
Bad break?
A bad break having to hang out with all those ladies.
Oh
again.
yeah, that was terrible. Terrible. I think it was more a bad break for them, but they welcomed me as graciously as they possibly could. So I appreciate that.
Sylvie Cote, lead for Team Quebec. Just being asked to throw it through. Let's keep rocks out of play. Or Skip Natalie Gagnon saying, I'm quite content being up 2, coming home with the hammer. And that's what it sits at in this tiebreaker, Pool B tiebreaker this morning. Team Quebec leading Team Saskatchewan 6-4 in the 8th end of play. Last end, regulation.
I seem to remember a situation earlier in the week. I don't know if you recall it. Manitoba was down a few.
That's right.
Manitoba men. And that was also going in the 8th end, wasn't it? Or
It
was that in the 7th end?
Well, they came fighting back a couple of times this week to tie it up, and we've had a number of extra end games.
And if I remember right, those were either 2 or 3
point
ends, so anything can happen.
Same thing? Hey, bring it. Well, I don't want to line them up side by side.
Another garden play. Doesn't want to line them up side by side. And it did stop in time, so we've got 2 center line guards for Team Saskatchewan. And with the 4 rock rule in play, cannot remove those. So Natalie Gagnon will ask.
I believe she's asking to throw through again. What do you think?
I think she's just saying we don't.
Yeah.
We might be playing the tick here. No, I think she's asked for it to be thrown through.
Just right through.
Sweepers aren't even going to travel with that one.
So at this point, what do you think Saskatchewan's going to be doing?
I was going to ask you what you would be doing if you were Team Saskatchewan. Would you throw up another guard? Or would you get in behind there?
Needing to, I think I'd start trying to put some in. I know that Quebec's probably going to start peeling guards, but at this point, you got to hope for a
nose hit or a miss along the way.
But it looks like they are just putting up another guard. Unless.
High. Oh, hey, just nose it. Freeze to it. I don't know what else to do. Freeze. Okay.
I'm not sure. By our conversation, sounds like they were trying to go around, but maybe it was just a guard.
Commenting earlier, Team Saskatchewan has played very well all week. Have been really struggling with their draw weight and some line issues here this morning. Charlotte Moore coming up late and got a guard in play. We do have 3 guards in play, but now we'll see Quebec go to work and try to remove those guards. This is second for Team Quebec, Laurie Verreau.
And unfortunately for Saskatchewan, it looks like they're lined up for at least a removal of 2 fairly easily. But no.
This touches 1. We'll get rid of one of those guards.
And leaves the 2 original there.
Always good when you're trying to steal points to have some centerline guards in play.
Yeah, this time she's definitely asking for a draw to the top of the 12-foot. So I guess I should take a second to apologize to everybody who's listening. I had the pleasure of listening to Lori for all those ends, and then she had to leave, and now you're stuck with me.
Yeah, but it's good because we have a vice chair of the host committee here in the booth this morning. And Steve, a number of volunteers it takes to pull off an event like this and make it run smoothly. I've heard numbers of over 100. So what areas do you need volunteers in an event like this?
Oh my, I mean, that's everywhere from my areas. I can speak to sponsorship, getting sponsors. Of course, we have the drivers. We have the scorekeepers. We have the on-ice officials. We have everybody's is a volunteer, except for, I guess, those that come from the very top of Curling Canada. Trying to think of them all. There was of course, the social volunteers.
Hospitality committee.
Hospitality,
as well.
Yeah.
We had the people involved in the opening ceremonies.
Oh, right. The opening ceremonies had how many? Right there. That was.
Between the school kids that were carrying the flags and
close to 50.
Just a great draw, by the way, from Saskatchewan, getting right around those centerline guards, and Team Quebec saying, let's get those guards gone.
You know, as long as there's a guard in play, anything can happen. Looks like we're going to get some movement. We did.
A nice double takeout to get rid of those 2 Saskatchewan guards, but still 1 Quebec guard in play, and Saskatchewan skip Danette Tracy will ask for her third Jade Bloor to throw up another centerline guard.
And for Saskatchewan's sake, this couldn't be going much better. Having a guard, a rock in the house.
And only halfway through this end?
Only halfway through this end, and they need 2, so.
Completed this morning. Men's Pool A game, Prince Edward Island and Alberta. Alberta beating Prince Edward Island 10-2, so they'll advance to this afternoon's quarterfinal. And one other men's draw, it's in Pool B, another tiebreaker. Yukon Territory against British Columbia, and that game is being played in the, I guess they're coming home in the 8th end as well, and BC is up 6-4, but Yukon has last rock advantage.
Yeah, very unfortunate break for Prince Edward Island over on sheet 5. They were looking at 5, coming in for a draw, and unfortunately Skip's rock picked, stopped well short of the house, and gave up 5 in the 5th end to pretty much end that one. Oh.
What a lovely peel, and going to squirt their own rock into the rings.
Oh my. That's exactly what Saskatchewan probably did not want to happen.
Quebec celebrating exactly what they did want to happen, and really an uphill battle here for Team Saskatchewan in this 8th end, trailing by 2 without last rock, needs to steal 2 just to force an extra end, and Jade Bloor being asked to throw up another centerline guard.
3, 2, 3.
Winner of this game will advance to this afternoon's quarterfinal against Team Nova Scotia. Winner of that game this afternoon will go on to play Team Manitoba in the semifinal.
And those games happening at 2 o'clock this afternoon, then 7 o'clock tonight?
You got it. With the final tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. By just after noon Pacific time tomorrow, we will know who are the champions of the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship for both the men's and the women.
Yep, ready?
We're only a day away.
Having been the chairman for this tournament, would you say it's somewhat bittersweet that we're coming near the end, or?
That's a very good question. We've been working on this since April with our host committee and our volunteers, and it's been a very full week. For those of us also holding our day jobs as much as we can and participating. But I do have to say that with the amount of volunteer help that we've had this week, it's gone rather smoothly. Every day people will be saying, well, how's it going? I'm saying, well, every hour my phone doesn't ring is a good hour, and there haven't been many phone calls saying that we're in need of anything. Some switches along the way. People have been very adaptable to switching and filling in where needed. Danette Tracy's first rock in this 8th end.
Again, being asked to put up a guard. Sitting 1, they need something to protect that rock, and then hope for they need a little luck.
So it's coming a little deeper, really skating on this homeward end. Draw times running about 14.5 to the tee line. That's from hog to hog.
There's the jam. Not bad, actually.
So two Saskatchewan rocks in the rings right now. Saskatchewan sitting 1st and 3rd. Team Quebec sitting 2nd, and Natalie Gagnon will just want to get rid of one of these for sure.
Speaking more about the tournament coming to an end and how the week went, I say to you, my chairman, as your vice chairman, how proud I am of the city of Kelowna and how proud I am of all the volunteers that came and stepped up and did the work. And there's been many that have put in way more hours than I thought they were going to have to. And I can't say enough about how wonderful those people were.
And Morgan Muse was just in the broadcast booth here, Team Alberta skip from the women's side, and just said, they felt they've been treated exceptionally well this week, from everyone from the drivers to the hospitality to the on-ice stuff. They felt like they were at the Scotties, the elite event.
And what more would you want to hear? And it looks like this last shot, they're going to remove one for sure.
And stuck around. Wow, this is never going to be over till it's over.
They are leaving a few opportunities for Saskatchewan. Let's see if they can take advantage of this. This being their last shot.
So looking at some options here. Racing down, talking about maybe bumping and rolling over. They need to generate a steal of 2. Team Saskatchewan trails 6-4. 2 rocks remaining.
So as I can speak to this question, I can ask you as my skip in men's league play, what would you do?
That's a very good question. Well, I would look at the same 2 options. I would look at the possibility of bumping that my own rock back, the yellow rock, down.
You get 2, so you gotta make it so they have a hard time getting either one out.
Well, now they're looking at a third option, over curling and drawing right in behind, right?
Like make the Christmas tree, basically.
Yeah.
So with this one, would you go with the safest shot or the highest? I guess you have to go with the shot that has the highest chance of winning in the end.
Well, you'd also ask the question,
Well, I thought of that.
what do I not want my opposition to throw? Let's listen in on this discussion.
I think we could take our yellow and roll
Straight under is perfect.
just to here.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it across. Then she might stop it.
Yeah, because if I sit here, she just has that catcher. I don't want to give her a catcher. She just has to make one go away. Let's make it the hardest shot.
But do we just draw here then? This way. So we have a little bit more tolerance.
But then she's got the hit and roll in.
Well, what do you want to leave her?
I don't know. She's going to peel that one. All right. I really just want to make it, I don't know.
Team Saskatchewan did call a timeout, so they had
Well,
this
if I
discussion.
hit and stick, she has to hit one of mine out. Worst, let's go for that. If I hit and stick, she just, I mean, I don't know. Because then we're looking at, well, then we for sure have our 2, and she has to go for it.
Against the tie.
Okay, so our hits are.
Okay,
Like
so it
that?
looks like she's
Does
going
that
for the
make good?
shot where she has the
Right,
best
she's gonna
chance
roll
of
in.
sitting to,
Yeah. Okay, so let's get the roll. Okay.
not necessarily making it the hard.
They were having that discussion. What's going to be the hardest shot for her to make? I thought they'd settled on the draw, either the outturn draw around or a draw just in front of theirs or a bump back. Talked about the catcher, which would be a shot that Quebec could roll against and save their own shooter.
Our philosophy is we're going to hit and roll.
So they are going for a
And then
hit.
she just has to make one go away. If I hit and stay, she still just has to make one go away. It's not
They're too flat for us to play a
freezing. Doesn't help us because she just has a catcher then when she hits ours. We're just giving her.
and roll.
And the discussion continues.
Brennan maybe not happy with the decision to play the hit.
Yeah, so
Wow,
take
this does
ours
sound like our
behind
team.
theirs and then roll
How much
one.
time do we have? 2 minutes.
And there we go. But
Do we have
based
one
on
more
what I saw on the
timeout?
clock, they had lots of time. They had
Let's just
lots of
do it.
time. Ooh,
Okay,
We're just doing it.
okay, let's do it.
okay.
Feeling more confident, and that is important for a skip to just say,
Can we get the roll
I
in
feel
behind?
confident in playing this hit and
Roll
roll
the center.
more than I feel confident in playing the draw, and we're going to rely on the fact or hope on the fact that she's going to miss a hit.
Yeah, and in the end, she's got to make the shot. So got to go with what the person holding the rock wants to go with
Clean.
in the end, especially if that is the skip.
Far left. Leanne.
The boss.
There we go. On its way.
Looks like we're going to be rolling out. Looks like this is
Rolled
done,
a little
yeah.
bit too far. So that will end this game. Quebec has run Saskatchewan out of rocks in the 8th end. So it will go down as a 6-4 win for Quebec over Team Saskatchewan in this tiebreaker in Pool B.
And that means they'll be meeting Nova Scotia in the next game at 2 o'clock.
Quebec will play Nova Scotia in one quarterfinal game. And Team Ontario will play Newfoundland Labrador in the other quarterfinal on the women's draw. On the men's side this afternoon, we'll have Nova Scotia playing Team Alberta. And Team Manitoba will play the winner of the remaining game. We are going to focus in. We've got cameras that we can do that with right now to watch the final tiebreaker, a couple of rocks, and the men's draw.
Looks like it's the first skipstone for Yukon.
Yukon with the hammer and trailing 6-4.
All right.
Oh, I would consider that a well-placed shot.
Little bump. Sits shot rock.
Yeah, thanks for helping out, guys.
But to end this game, all that BC has to do is make that one go away, and that'll end this game as well.
That was a nice shot by Yukon skip Pat Pazlowski. And this will be the last rock in the 8th end for our Alberta skip.
BC skip.
Sorry, BC
That's
skip.
okay.
I was looking at an Alberta picture.
BC, Alberta, we all stick together. Having recently moved from Alberta into the wonderful land of BC. Here it comes. The shot's on its way. They're not laying a broom to it yet.
Ron Schmidt, his team from the Comox Valley Curling Club.
He must have.
Oh. Ran straight on that outside with a little extra weight, and we got a chance for team from Yukon Territory to tie this up. One rock left in the 8th end, and he needs 2 to tie. He's down 6-4, and this is last rock coming down.
Well, this one is definitely setting up for an extra end.
I haven't had my eye too much on this game. It's been quite a battle, BC and Yukon in this tiebreaker. See who will advance to this afternoon's quarterfinal. Been a lot of rocks in play. We did notice that as the game proceeded.
And if there's one piece of advice I'd throw out there is keep it clean, boys. Keep it clean.
8th end, ice has been fairly consistent from the start to finish in terms of the time for these teams. Not laying a brush to it.
It's got to get a piece of the 4, probably.
It is skating. Will it
As we
stop
know,
in time?
downhill, and it does. I don't believe it will. That's unfortunate. But being a hometown crowd, there are some people up in the stands that are very happy to see that.
So Ron Schmidt, his team from Comox Valley Curling Club out on Vancouver Island, representing the province of British Columbia. They will proceed into the quarterfinals this afternoon. Congratulations to them. So our quarterfinals are set for this afternoon. It will be Team BC against Team Manitoba on the men's side, and Team Alberta versus Team Nova Scotia on the other side of that men's draw. And they'll go on to play tonight. There's the semifinalists have already been selected. The first teams in their pools, Team Saskatchewan advancing to the semifinals tonight. Team Ontario, both those teams at 6-0 on the men's side of the draw. And on the ladies' side of the draw, the 2 teams that will await the quarterfinals this afternoon, Team Alberta, Morgan Muse from the Calgary Curling Club advancing, finishing first in their pool, and Team Manitoba, although tied in their pool because of the win-loss record and who they had beat in the round-robin draw, will await the winner of Nova Scotia and Team Quebec. So that'll do it for us on this tie-break morning from the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. On behalf of Laurie Seaman, Steve Van Dam, our crew from New Horizon Productions, Jan and Jacob and Dorda, we say so long for now, and we'll see you back for the live stream this afternoon, where we will do 2 games, the men's quarterfinal and the women's quarterfinal at this 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.